أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم ففهمنا سليمان وكلنا آتينا حكما وعلما رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم سبحانك اللهم وحنانيك اللهم لا تنسني ولا تنسني الحمد لله أفضل الحمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله وسائر النبيين والصالحين وسلم الموفقني واهدني وسددني واجمع لي بين الصواب والثواب وعذني من الخطأ والهرمان آمين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to another episode of Questions and Answers. I'm your host today, Amjad Muhammad, and I will aim to inshallah share with you what knowledge I have gained from my teachers and from the books over the decades. Alhamdulillah, I've been fortunate enough to be both studying and teaching. And your job, I guess, if that's my job, is to phone in on 01274 214 299. That's Bradford, 01274 214 299. And as I explained yesterday, Maghrib is obviously in the slot, or in my slot, in the sense that the time period that I have to run the Q&A today, it falls in that duration. So as a result, the lessons, I got the lessons in my head, the sessions will be shorter than usual. We're going to lose a little bit time because of the adhan. So I would suggest you get your call in early, okay? Otherwise, as we saw yesterday, we literally could only take a couple of calls and that did everything. It was all done in that meantime, even though I had started to recite some hadith to you to explain to you the excellence of knowledge. And somebody has taken that advice and called into the studio. So Jazakumullah khair for calling in nice and early. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear respected, beloved scholar.
MashaAllah. Fast off the mark today.
You need to work on your L and N's. Like yesterday, it's a slip of the tongue. Come on, are you getting old or something?
Clearly, or either my teeth are slowly moving and they're clipping onto my tongue and mispronouncing, or it's just the tongue is not moving fast enough anymore.
No, I think what it is the tongue is speaking before the mind is thinking. You're not giving the mind a chance to think.
I think I'll take that advice on board and slow things down a little bit, inshallah.
Actually, talking of advice, there's a clear liquid, that clear oil is used for babies. That's good for your skin and good for your beard as well. It really shines your beard.
I've heard because when I do...
The white clear one, I don't want to mention the name, the one the vaccinations have made.
I get you. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
It's very good for the beard. It shines the beard and it smooths your skin.
Is my beard not shining today?
Well,
is it a bit dull?
Well, maybe because of the Jummah and all.
Maybe it's the lighting in the studio. Maybe that's my excuse anyway.
Some scholars really, fluff it on. Anyway, okay, right. Back to
the script.
Right. What should we talk about? Shall we talk? It's up to you. I'm going to give you two subjects. Yeah.
Yep.
Either you can talk about, Salman Rushdie.
Oh yeah.
I've never, the satanic verses and what all that was about. That was in my teenage years. You can either talk about that, what all that palaver was about, or you can talk about, what did I have on my list here?
Oh, you have a list as well. Good.
Like you said, you've got to be on the ball.
Oh yes.
Yeah. A couple of days ago, there was a scholar on another channel, and he said, actually talking about your town as well, Bradford, a Bradford channel. He said Maulana used to, walk to the mosque and used to see an alcoholic every day, and he asked him to come to the mosque. And he said, yeah, I'll come. So one Jummah day, he asked, it was about 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning. He said, let's go to the mosque. Come on, it's Jummah. Yeah. He said, yeah, okay, I will come. So the Imam, being very wise, he said, come on, let's go then. So the Imam went to his house. The guy had done a ghusl and everything, done wudu and everything, and took him to the mosque. The gentleman put 2 steps into the mosque. This is 15 years ago, true story, obviously. Had a heart attack and passed away. what was the significance of them telling us this story? If you could elaborate on that.
Okay, Jazakumullah khairan for that. Jazakumullah
Thank
khairan
you.
for that.
बहुत
Barakallah
मेहरबानी.
and yourself. Have a good weekend, inshallah. So, I had two choices. One was the Salman Rushdie, and the other one is this interesting tale about this brother who goes to the masjid and then he collapses after taking 2 steps in. Before I tackle those questions, we have another caller who's called in, thankfully. So nice and early, that's the best way to go about it. They're phoned in on 01274 214 299. So again, I commend you for calling in. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam, Mufti Saab. I've got a question. I phoned a few months ago, I think, and I didn't clearly get what you meant. You know, I said about swale swab. You know, when somebody passes away and you send them swab.
Yep.
Yeah, how to send that? Is this that? You know, when I read Yasin Surah and I send it to one person, but then I've got others who have passed away as well within the family. So do I mention all their names or just one person for one Yasin Surah or one Quran or something like that? I don't know how to do it because somebody said it's per person.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, it gets a bit hard.
No,
do you understand?
Not a problem at all, sister. So I will answer that question first. I'm sure the brother won't mind. And if you not fully understand what I've said, then please call back. Don't wait a few more months before you call again, inshallah. So let me tackle the sister's question first. Before I tackle the next question first, we have another caller. So assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear caller.
Oh, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm not sure whether you remember I rang yesterday regarding the saying prayers at the graveside.
Ah, yes. How are you, sister? You okay? Did the answer fit in your question? Did it fulfill your question?
Yes, no, it was very informative.
Oh, barakallah
It's just, it's just more specifically, I just wanted to know the impact on. I appreciate you pray to Allah, obviously, but I was just wondering if it impacted on the soul. Does the soul in the grave, are they waiting for us? If they're used to us coming to visit them, are they waiting for us to call again? Because I understand it'd be nice if you could read the Yasin Sharif every 40 days or say prayers or other particular days. Are they waiting for us to come and pray? And if we don't, are they missing us, so to speak? So it was more
Okay.
Relating to that, really.
That's fine.
But other than that, yeah, thank you for the information. Very, very, very useful. Thank you.
Barakallah feek, sister. Jazakumullah khair. So again, sister who just called in, if I don't respond in as much detail or miss a point, please do call back straight away. You know, I'd rather, fulfill your needs rather than just kind of, just give a general answer. So let's go in reverse order. Let's deal with the question just now, which was about the sister asking. She phoned in yesterday and asking about visiting the deceased. And now maybe I missed that point a little bit and I discussed the other points, but maybe I didn't elaborate on this one in detail. The question she has is that will the souls of the deceased recognize the absence of the visitors that they used to get before? There's a difference of opinion amongst the ulama about the deceased of their awareness of the living. So once a person dies, do they have awareness of this dunya? So the view is, according to one party, that no, absolutely not. Once they pass away, they're in another domain. They don't know what's going on. And therefore, whatever goes on the surface of the earth, they are none the wiser. That's one opinion, one view. The other view is, and that view tends to get a lot of support amongst the ulama. The other view is that the people can have some capacity to be aware of the living. We know, for instance, when the mushrikun were killed in Badr, the Prophet ﷺ called on them and said, have you found what I promised you or what Allah promised you to be true? Or what Allah threatened you of to be true? And therefore he was addressing them. Also, we find narrations in which it mentions that when a person is buried, people should stay near the graveyard for the duration of an animal being slaughtered, like a camel, and its meat being distributed, because they can get conviction and strength by looking at the people around their grave. So that clearly shows that they have a vision of people in the world. Also, there's a mention in narrations that the people who are deceased can hear the footsteps as they fade away when people leave their graveside. So there seems to be some evidence that people are aware. The position that I adopt is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give capacity to the deceased to become aware of those who visit them. Who has that capacity? Do they have that capacity all the time? Does the capacity come to them and leave? Allahu A'lam. Allah knows best. Why? Because this is knowledge of the unseen, and unless we have an ayah or we have a hadith, we cannot express an opinion of the unseen, because that's just what it is, unseen. And we would be disrespectful to the deen and overstepping our mark as ulama if we start speaking of the unseen. The Prophet ﷺ did not speak of the unseen, so who are we? Until revelation came to him, and then he would speak of the unseen. So that's something that we need to keep in mind. So I hope that answers your question, that there's a lack of clarity as to the soul's awareness of visitors. The majority position seems to be that they are not aware, that they are oblivious to anything that goes on in this world, that they are disconnected from this world, and they are in barzakh, and they cannot look through a window into this world. There is this other opinion that there are certain times in which people are given this exposure to this world. However, there's no mention specifically that it is of those when people visit them. There's no mention in hadith, as far as I can recall, that a person is given the ability to see who visits them. So there's no mention of that, but if we take the general understanding of the other two of these, then there's a possibility. So that should hopefully make things a little bit clearer, that the souls won't experience your absence. Okay, they won't experience your absence. Hence, the recitation will go to them. So that was the last question which came from the sister. And again, sister, we've got a few minutes left now. So if you do feel that I've missed a point, please do call in. Don't worry. This is your show. This is for your benefit. And also, then obviously, if you're busy right now, then you can call in after the short interval, and I'll tackle that if it needs to be tackled again. The other sister asked, who did phone a few months ago, with regards to Isal Thawab. Isal Thawab can be distributed to as many people as you wish. You can actually make Isal Thawab for all the ummah of the Prophet ﷺ, and it will be distributed accordingly. Remember, this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the keys to all the bounty, all the world and beyond. For him, it makes no difference if you ask him for £5,000 or £5 million or £5 trillion or £5 squillion. It's irrelevant, okay? Because quantity he's not restricted by quantity. Whereas in the world, we are restricted. So if somebody asked me for £5, that would be a lot easier for me to give than if somebody asked me for £5,000. I think, okay, that's going to take a little bit longer than just here, there's a fiver, okay? Whereas Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Allah. He has no limits. So if you say you recite Surah Yasin, or you do something or whatever, and then say, oh Allah, please share this, distribute this to all my deceased relatives, and then you specifically mention some, like your mother, your father, whoever, then that will be done, inshallah ta'ala. I heard, if I'm not mistaken, about you mentioning, reciting Surah Yasin every 40 days. There is no tradition or narration which suggests that it should be done every 40 days. So one should not expect reward or not think it is fixed to do it every 40 days. There's no narration. You should do it as often as you wish. Daily, alhamdulillah. If not, at least weekly. If not, at least, every 2-3 weeks. But not think that, 40 days I need to do this. There's nothing there to support that opinion. Okay? So I hope that's given clarity to the two sisters with regards to both the soul's experience of an absence of a visitor, and also about Isal Thawab. If for whatever reason I've missed the boat again, or I've not hit the nail on the head, then please do call back. I would suggest not calling back right now, because we have a minute or so before we're going to disappear for an interval. But do call back as soon as we come back on air, inshallah, and we can deal with that a little bit further. Feel as confident and as comfortable as our brother is from Peterborough, who is confident enough to call and have a nice conversation and even, get engaged. So don't feel that, if there's something that I've missed, that it should be just left and ignored until your, as I say, sharh sadr, until your heart is at ease that your question has been answered. Then you should say, alhamdulillah, that's done. And obviously, I ask all of you to make dua for me so that, when I do answer the question, make dua. Even if it's not a question that you asked for, so you're just a viewer, then make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts the little that we do, and He increases our ilm and amal, and also that He benefits us in the hereafter in His best way possible, so that at least, we gain from this as well. We're going to take a short break. I haven't forgotten my dear brother. I will tackle one of the two, maybe even both, if we've not had any calls. One is the Salman Rushdie affair, which took place way back in the day, I think sometime in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. And the other one is the issue of this brother who didn't frequent the masjid at all. And then on one particular day, he decides to go, and he literally takes a couple of steps into the masjid, has a heart attack, and passes away. What's the significance of that? Why did the scholar share that? Or even if he didn't, what's the significance of this story? Can we gain anything from the story? So we'll take a short break now. Join me again, please. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.